Hey guys, I am home, but I have to leave my house in about half an hour. So, just noticed Kuba puked in 2 spots. I'm not even touching it right now. I can't even deal with this right now. School was very challenging today, especially the last 2 periods, or the 2 periods before the last period. I had a double period with a class, and they were just, yeah. They had one of those really bad days today, and it was very challenging, but I'm not going to talk about it because I don't feel like wasting my energy thinking about it. What I wanted to do today was go out, but that's not happening because I have to pick up my parents from the airport, and this really sucks because I've been working every single day. I come home, I work on YouTube, I come home, I work on Etsy, and YouTube at night. I go to the post office whenever I can, I run there, and so I just really wanted to go out today and have some fun rather than it being about all work and more work, since I have like everything that I do. So it's been hard. Wanted to go out, but I gotta pick my parents up from the post office and I gotta leave in about half an hour or so. So that's my life. I wanted to get ready and I wanted to maybe just pick my parents up and then have them drive back while I take a train into the city from the airport, but they're already on the plane and I don't know if they're gonna be too tired. I don't know if they're gonna have a glass of wine on the plane. I don't know anything, so I guess I'm just not going out. There's no point in me getting ready to possibly not even go out later. I would just be even more mad at that point. But it really sucks because I really just wanted to go out. And I had to even turn down an invitation at school to go out with the teachers today because they were all going out to have some drinks as like a beginning of the school year kind of thing. And then on top of that, I got an email today that I need to have a meeting with the principal and the assistant principal. I'm not in trouble or anything, but it's like a initial meeting for I guess how everything's going, what my professional goals are, and I need to show like student work and what we're working on and whatever. I also need to sign up for, or not sign up for, but like I have to fill out like a Google Doc and observation kind of thing. So what kind of observations I want, informal or formal or blah blah blah. And I don't even know what's better. I'm just so afraid of observations. I don't know if that means I have to do the whole entire class or if I just can do a small group. I have no idea and I'm nervous about that. This goes like towards my teacher rating. I'm going to be rated as a teacher of how effective I am, and this could affect like my future career, like when I ever want to switch to another school, for example. So really nervous about that as well. It's been a very long day so far and it's not even close to over yet. Okay guys, I'm gonna have to go soon to go pick up my parents from the airport, but I wanted to talk about a couple of things. So I know earlier I needed to just relax a little bit because today was such a challenging day. It was really rough. I had like kids crawling under the tables. There was kids throwing things. There was kids that one kid that literally just got up and walked out of class. Like today was one of those really challenging days. I mean, I wasn't the main teacher. I wasn't leading the class, but I am a second teacher in the classroom, and it's like, what are you doing? So because I haven't like fully taught that math class yet. I've taught the science class before, but I haven't fully taught the math class yet. So I, walk around, I circulate, I help any kids that I see that aren't getting it, or any kids that aren't doing any work, and I'm like, you gotta do your work. So one of the kids ended up like on the floor. He just wanted to be under the table. And I was like, no, you need to get back up and sit back in your chair. And he was like, relax yourself. Like, this is the responses that they give you. They talk back to you and they're just, oh my gosh. So I told him again, I was like, get up. Because then he was like, taking his sweet time and like trying not to get up. And then, he's like, oh wait, I forgot this, or I forgot a pencil or whatever, and trying not to get up. And I again told him to get up. And he was like, you're mean. He's like, the other teacher's not mean like that. Well, he said the other teacher's name, but he's like, she's not mean like that. Which I was fine with. Like, they're gonna call me mean, I understand that, but then they're also gonna tell me I'm really nice. Like, kids are just like that. And they're only calling me mean because I'm pointing out their actual behaviors, whereas the other teacher, if the whole class is like talking, she will give like a speech to the whole class. Whereas me, because I'm the one circulating, I see all these individual behaviors and I'm not teaching the class. Like, I see exactly everything that's going on. So I'll point out your individual behavior and I'll tell you to fix it and make the right choices and everything like that. So I'm fine. If you want to call me mean, go ahead and call me mean. I'm cool with that. Then you had the kid that literally just got up and walked out of class, and then the para, I didn't see when he walked out. I was helping another kid, and the para literally came over to me. She was like, he just got up and left class without raising his hand, asking to go anywhere or anything. So then I had to leave the classroom and see where he went, which he went to the bathroom, and then have a whole speech and discussion with him when he got back that is not acceptable and blah blah blah, that you don't just get up and walk away, that you raise your hand, ask to go to the bathroom, and then you could go. So I had a whole speech with him, and then a highlight today, I will tell you guys, that was like my difficult moments today, but a highlight today was really awesome because there was this one kid that I walked around and he was struggling. We were doing prime factorizations and making like factor trees. So like you had the number 36, for example, and then we had to like break it down. So you could either do 6 times 6 or you could do 9 times 4, and then you break down those numbers until you get to a number that you can't break down anymore, like 2 or 3. So, and then we were writing it in exponential forms. So if we had like 2 2s, we'd write 2 to the 2nd power and whatever. So if you guys know this, you guys know what I'm talking about. If not, well, just bear with me. But anyway, so this kid, he wasn't getting it and I saw he was struggling. So I went over to him and I like crouched down next to him. And I'm helping him and asking him guiding questions like, okay, so how can you break down the number 36? What 2 numbers multiply to make 36 and blah, blah, blah. He said 6 and 6. I was like, okay, so now can we break down any of these numbers further, or are these prime numbers, meaning that we can't break them down anymore? He's like, no, we can break them down. And then he broke those down. And then I was like, okay, so now can we break those down further, or are they prime numbers? He's like, we can't break them down anymore. I was like, okay, so if we can't break them down anymore, we're gonna circle our numbers. So then he circled them, and then I was like, okay, so what is our equation? And he wrote 3 times 2 times 3 times 2. And then I was like, okay, so how can we make this into like an exponential equation? And then he was having a little difficulty with that, and I was like, okay, so if we have 2 2s, that means 2 to the 2nd power. If we had 2 3s, that would mean 3 to the 2nd power, and etc. And then he wrote the equation, and I was like, wow. I was like, you really got it. I'm like, I'm so proud of you. And then like I walked away, and that kid was paying attention the whole entire time after that. He was doing all his work, he was going ahead, and he was doing it all right. Like, he completely understood it, and I was so proud that he was getting it. And then I saw him again after, like, because I kept walking around, and I would go over to another kid, and then I'd come back, and I kept checking in with him, and I was just so proud of him that he was doing his work. He had everything written on his paper, all doing a very, very good job. He wrote out all his steps. He was doing so amazing. I was just so proud of him, guys. You guys have no idea. And I was telling him I am so proud of him. I had him give me like a high five and everything. I was just so proud. And he was so proud of himself as well, that he ended up going to the other teacher as well and was like, look what I did. And he was so happy, and I was so happy. And I told the other teacher like this whole thing, and we talked about it, and she said that she would email his mom and tell his mom what a great job he did today, like, because it was just so amazing. Like, yes, you may have those challenging days where the whole class doesn't want to listen to you, and they just want to do their own thing and not pay attention or whatever, and it's the end of the day and whatever. You will have those days, but then you will also have those few kids that you're just going to be so proud of, that are going to make you want to go back to teach. Like, that's just how teaching is. I also had another student that was the other one that's been giving me the hugs and stuff. So he, again today, was having an issue or whatever. I told him I would take care of it, and then he was like, no, but like it's really bothering me, and I'm like, I will take care of it. You will focus on yourself. Let me handle the rest. And like I had like this whole talk with him, and he was like, okay. And then like he gave me a hug later again and stuff. And then at the end of the day, it was so funny. He wasn't even being mean or anything. He was just asking me like how old I am. He was asking me how old I am, and I didn't want to tell him. And he's like trying to guess it and stuff. And he's like, are you in your 20s? And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll tell you that much. He was like, Miss P, you look like you're 14. And I just thought it was hilarious because a lot of the time people think I'm so much younger than I actually am because I'm 26. And a lot of the time people think I'm like 16. I get 16 and 18 all the time, which is funny. And he said 14. And I just thought it was funny. And then also another student was calling me Miss and then my actual last name, which I don't want kids calling me that because they end up like butchering my whole last name and then I hate it. So that's why I have them call me Miss P. So one of the other students that normally gives us a hard time as well started calling me the other name, and I was like, where did you get that from? And she was like, oh well, you say you're Miss P, so I just thought of another P word. And then that same kid that gives me the hugs and that said that I look like I'm 14, he asked me about it later too and asked me like if that's really my last name. And I was like, why would you get that idea? Because I don't want to say that that's my last name because I don't want the kids calling me that. And I was like, why would you get that idea? He was like, I saw it on the schedule because he sees like the teachers' names. And he's like, I saw it on the schedule. And I was like, oh, so the other girl probably saw it on the schedule too, even though she didn't say that. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay, yeah, it's my last name, but please let's stick with Miss P. I don't want to be called the other thing. And he was like, does it hurt your feelings when they call you that? And I'm like, yeah, it kind of does because they don't say it right. And they, you know, kind of make fun of it in a way. And he was like, I understand. He's like, but I think your last name is really pretty. And I'm sorry that the other girl is making fun of it. He's like, but I will call you Miss P. And he was just so sweet, guys. You guys have no idea. Like, he was so cute. Oh, those moments just make me so happy as a teacher. They're great. But I'm still worried about my observations coming up. I'm so worried. Like, I'm nervous. I know that I'm a good teacher. And I know that I try really hard and do, like, the best that I can. But at the same time, there's so much expected of you as a teacher that I feel like it's not always going to come across the way I want it to when somebody's observing me, and I'm just worried about that because no matter how hard I try, I know there's going to be like criticism or like critique or feedback rather, I should say, and I'm open to feedback and everything like that because it's a way for me to improve, but at the same time, especially if I feel like I'm trying really hard, I'm just going to be like I tried so hard, you know, and then I'm getting like this feedback and okay, I could have done this, but I already felt like I was trying really hard. I don't know, does that make sense? Anyway, guys, I really have to go to the airport now. It's 8:35. My parents arrive at 9. It says it's going to take me 37 minutes, but I figured it's going to take a while before they go through customs anyway, so it's okay if I'm a little late. But I do have to go to the airport, but I did want to tell you guys just my story real quick because there's highlights and challenges every week, but specifically today was a really, really big challenge, but then all of that amazing stuff happened as well, and then it just like melted in my heart, and it was just, oh, those kids, man, as difficult as they can be one day, they are also just like so sweet on other days, or even that same day just later on, like, okay, I gotta go, guys. I really gotta go. So I will see you guys later, unless I fall asleep, which I might do as soon as I get home. Since I'm not going out, I'm gonna sleep my night away, and I'm gonna catch up on some sleep probably. So I'll either see you guys later, or I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.